Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Dark Saints here. We are reviewing Monday Night Raw for January 13th. This is the second episode officially on Netflix, so let's get into it. It starts out with CM Punk, the best in the world. He came out and basically said that he is looking for his Mania moment, that he doesn't know if it's going to be against guys like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, mentioned a guy that you can't see. I think it'll be interesting to see where he goes forward with this. I think it is possible that we get Punk and Rollins at Mania. And then we get Gunther versus, I don't know, maybe Cena or something like that. Seth then interrupts Punk and says, win, lose, or draw last week, that he was going to stand across the ring from CM Punk. And that is exactly what he's doing. Drew then comes out, is mainly talking to Seth, and Punk thinks that he's talking to him. And it just leads to a whole thing. And Punk is like, I don't want to talk anymore. I just want to fight you guys. I don't really care who it is, if it's Rollins, if it's Drew. More or less, they all announced for the Royal Rumble this year for 2025. So it is officially Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Drew, Punk, Rollins, and Cena. So, yeah. The first official match on the card was Chad Gable of American Made. The debut of Cero Miedo, Zero Fear, baby, Pentagon. Dude, he looks so sick, bro. I'm so happy that he's in WWE. Penta ends up hitting Gable with a Canadian Destroyer, which is sick. They call it the Mexican Destroyer. I was like, okay. Penta did get his usual moves off, though. He got the little arm breaker thing from Lucha Underground. And then he got the Penta driver, which is cool because he used that finisher in TNA. It was cool, though, because they mentioned AAA, they mentioned TNA, and they mentioned Lucha Underground, which, like, for me, just brought, like, a thing inside. I was like, damn, bro, like, that's sick. Penta with that arm breaker, that was pretty cool. Cero Miedo. Penta ends up picking up the victory in his debut match. Penta then cuts a promo saying that WWE is his home now and that he is looking to make an impact, more or less, and that he hopes to bring a lot of excitement and a lot of energy and a lot of just everything to the crowd. And just in general, dude, everybody was feeling the energy in the room and everybody was hyped for Penta. It's a really, really dope moment for him. I'm really, really happy that he's actually in the WWE. So, yeah. The next segment was the Judgment Day. Liv said that she's going to do whatever it takes to get her title back. Possibly maybe go over to SmackDown. She could get the butt from Tiff. And Balor said that he is going to handle Damian Priest tonight. Balor then says that Liv has a little more on her plate to deal with. Dirty Don Mysterio, in classic Eddie Guerrero fashion, trying to make it up to China. He tries to make it up to Liv with, a flower bouquet, a little rose bouquet, and, just trying to make peace with her so everything's all good. Liv basically says, yeah, everything's fine, everything's okay. Because last week on the premiere episode, Dom tried to hug Rhea, I don't know, get the belt, whatever. And then he ended up getting low blood for it. And then got hit with a riptide. I think it's a situation where just Liv just feels betrayed and just kind of hurt. And Liv was like, yeah, we're all good. Just go get my bags, go get Raquel's bags, and, and just kind of chill back, and that's it. And then she told Carlito to grab the flowers, which I thought was funny. Just in terms of, like, the way she said it, I think she said, like Carl or like Lido or something like that. And I was just like, bro, what? Dom, not fully understanding it, is like, oh, look, guys, I told you she'd know, man, this and that. And Finn's like, dude, you got so much to learn. I gotta focus on my match later, so. Sheamus then has a match with Ludwig Kaiser, which Sheamus ends up winning. He ends up face-to-face with Braun Breaker. They're going to end up having I believe this is the second time they're fighting a Saturday Night's Main Event, right? because they had the triple threat with Ludwig, I think, right? Or was that a different pay-per-view? But yeah, so this is going to be a one-on-one match for the pay-per-view, which is January 25th, I think. Seth freaking Rollins then gets confronted by Kathy Kelly and says, hey, I talked to Adam Pearce. I requested a match with Drew McIntyre for next week. Seth then gets interrupted by Sami Zayn, and Seth pretty much just goes in on him. He's like, yeah, you've been helping Roman a lot. He's like, oh, you're probably gonna help Roman win the Rumble. You're probably gonna help Roman win the title from Cody. You're probably gonna and just listed off a bunch of reasons and stuff. And it's just like, you can kind of tell Seth is gonna turn heel. I'm really hoping that we do get that faction with Seth, Drew, and KO. Because he's gonna be a part of that. Cody will be a part of that. And Roman will be a part of that. I think we're getting a match between these two guys next week. That'll probably be the main event. Yep, official January 25th. Karrion Kross relays some news to Miz that the Wyatt Six have been moved to SmackDown, so they no longer have an issue on Raw. Sami then confronts them, and Miz is like, I have more accolades than you'll ever have in your career. And Sami basically asked for a match tonight against The Miz. We see the NXT champion in the crowd. Shout out Obafemi. Congrats on your win. I'll just keep this short. Gunther came out basically cutting a promo saying that no one's on his level, the typical Gunther thing. And then Jay comes out. Jay is demanding a match against Gunther. Then he gets it. I guess you can just demand a title match and you get it nowadays. It's a little weird though because Jay already announced himself for the Rumble. So it kind of spoils this. Like, Jay's already going to lose. Like, we already know Jay's going to lose, but it kind of just kills the excitement and wonder of, hey, maybe Jay might actually pull it off. Like, what if Jay hits, like, a crazy spear into the super kick? Or, like, a super kick gets up into the spear and then a splash. And then it's like, oh, Jay might win, you know? And then obviously doesn't. But the next match to crown the new women's IC champion was Lyra Valkyria versus Dakota Kai. Dakota ends up hitting her finisher kind of midway through the match, and Lyra does a smart in-ring thing and rolls out the ring. Lyra then ends up hitting her finisher. It's like some fireman's carry Michinoku driver like thing. That was sick. Congrats to Lyra Valkyria, your new IC Women's Champion. Sami beats Miz. Nothing to really talk about there. He wins with the Blue Thunder Bomb. That's all I'm going to say. Like, he hits the Luva kick and then into the Blue Thunder Bomb. I think that's cool. Considering Cody and KO, well, they're not going to main event the Rumble, obviously. But it gives Gunther a pay-per-view under his belt to actually main event under. This is also made official. Braun vs. Sheamus. Rhea Ripley comes out cutting a promo saying that she did what she did. Sounds like a broken record. I'm sorry, Rhea's boring. I don't really care. You guys can get mad at me for that. That's just my opinion on this. Nia comes out talking about the transfer portal and says that she could be a new addition to Raw. She could fight Mommy. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. Nia then takes shots at Bayley because they're in Bayley's hometown. And Nia's like, oh, BBL Bayley's going to come after me. And I'm just like, bro, what the hell? It's kind of funny. But yeah, that's probably rekindling this feud right here. And then I'm kind of intrigued to see what this leads to this. Maybe these two fight and the winner fights her. Next week on Raw, the return of the Hall of Famer JBL. If you guys know JBL, he's been really popping up on TNA a lot, helping Nick Nemeth, who is formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. They also return to in-ring action next week. The main event was Damian Priest and Balor. Damian ends up winning. It was kind of an okay match for a street fight. Balor ended up hitting a really, really cool coup de grace, kind of a callback to his match with Kenny in Japan, which was sick, the coup de grace on the table. But yeah, I think this hurts the Judgment Day storyline personally. I think this hurts Finn Balor going forward, but we'll see what do you guys think? Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Lates.